para mabasa namon later on. Okay, thank you. Okay, so before we go to the meat of this morning's event, so mayong aga liwat sa tanan, mangumusta ko danay sa inyo. So in our Zoom chat box, can you share with all of us here sa aton nga Zoom room kung ano ang ginabatsyag niyo subong, how you are feeling right now. Pero you have to express it or you have to answer it through an emoji or through an emoticon. So once again, please share with us here sa aton nga Zoom room how you are feeling right now, but express it through an emoji. Okay, so I'm now seeing emojis from our attendees. There. Okay, so now that's quite easy, but here's the twist. So I would now like to ask everyone, so tanan gid, to turn on our cameras. So I'll be counting 1 to 5. Hopefully by then, makita ta na ang everybody's faces. So let's turn on our cameras now. There. So I'm now seeing Joanna, si Donabelle, Mark June. Yeah, so it lain gid ya if we get to see everybody's beaming smiles, no, compared sa black screens lang in your thumbnail. So, but wala pa kita katapos. Amo na gid niya ang twist sa tanan nga twist. So remember the emoji that you sent in our chat box a while ago. So this time, we will now be acting out that emoji. So kung ano ang guya sang emoji nga ginsenta kagina, amo man na ang aton nga ilogon through our faces. That's why naka-on ang aton nga mga camera. So we have to act it out. Again, hindi maghuya-huya, mas waki, mas sadya. Diba, Doc Lito? Mas waki, mas sadya. So I'll count 1 to 3 and let's all act out our emojis. So 1, 2, 3, freeze. Okay, so while we're at it, can we take a quick photo op, emoji version? Hambal ganit nila, di ba? Picture or it didn't happen. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, another photo. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so thank you very much for your active participation. Hope na warm up kita no before we go to our formal event. So for us to start our meet of this morning's event, tawagon ko ang akon nga upod sa MBC, our Senior Policy Officer, Catch Afilada.
Thanks, Vida. Good morning to the youth of Victoria City. Welcome to the closing assembly of Victoria City. Kami buong puso nagpapasalamat sa inyong pagtanggap sa Makati Business Club, the Asia Foundation, and UST. Ang ating activity this morning ay parte ng Digital Democracy Project ng Makati Business Club na tumutulong sa gobyerno na makakonsult sa kanilang mga citizens sa pamamagitan ng online tools. Ang resulta ng konsultasyong ito ay pwedeng gamitin para gumawa ng consensus-backed policies. So a few weeks ago, mga ilang linggo na, naglunsad ang Victoria City ng online survey ng ating opening citizen assembly. Survey na yun, tinatanong natin ang kabataan ng Victoria City tungkol sa kanilang mga concerns at emotions tungkol sa mental health. Ngayon naman, malalaman na natin kung ano ang naging resulta ng ating survey at gayon ay makuha natin ang iyong mga rekomendasyon tungkol sa paano mas mapapabuti ng gobyerno ng Victoria City ang mental health support para sa kabataan. Napakaganda rin ng timing dahil kahapon lamang, noong October 10, ito ay World Mental Health Day. Hindi na talaga tayo pwedeng magbulag-bulagan sa mga isyung nakaka-epekto sa mental health, lalo na sa kabataan. Siyempre, pagbibigay importansya natin sa mental health ay hindi dapat lang sa World Mental Health Day. Hindi lang siya pang isang araw na paggunita, pero dapat siya maging isang daily reminder at challenge para sa lahat ng tumutulong at makibahagi para maging isang safe space for mental health ang ating mga komunidad, paaralan at tahanan. So with that, let me call on Myron Montefalcon, NLP researcher from National University, to present results. Myron is part of the team that helped us understand the survey results. Myron,
Okay. Can I share my screen now?
please, yes.
Okay. So is it visible now on your end?
Yes, we can see it now.
Oh.
Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I am Myron Montefalcon from National University. Today, we are going to talk about the mental health and the result of the survey that was conducted in the Victoria City. Ang mental health ay isang seryosong bagay. So it affects our emotions, kung sino tayo, and the way we think. So, and it is as important as our physical health. So that being said, it is often neglected and not really talked about. So that being said, we want to answer the question, or gusto nating sagutin yung tanong na, how can Victoria City best support the youth through a more holistic and inclusive mental health care support? So gumamit tayo ng data science upang maintindihan ano nga ba yung nagiging source of stress, bakit nga ba nagkakaroon ng mental health issues ang mga kabataan. At the same time, gusto nating malaman ano nga ba ang mental health intervention na gugustuhin ng mga kabataan. So in partnership of Victoria City, and yan, ginamit ang mbc.com.ph kung saan ang survey ay nagsimula mula September 20 hanggang October 5, 2022, kung saan 405 na kabataan ang sumali. So ito ang aming ginamit, data science from metadata, votes analysis, minay natin ng insights, at nagkaroon din ng thematic analysis. So karamihan sa mga participants ay residente ng Victoria City. Karamihan din ay female, 58.5%, kung saan 15 to 18 years old ang majority ng mga sumali na participants, na kung saan karamihan dito ay junior high school or nasa senior high school na. So unang tanong, how have you been feeling over the last 2 weeks? So makita natin dito ang summary ng mga sagot ng mga kabataan. Karamihan ay nasa positive naman, pero hindi natin maiiwasan na meron dito nagsabi na 96 ng some of the time lang daw sila gumigising na fresh and rested. Ganun din, my daily life has been filled with things that interest me. So marami din ang sabi na less than half of the time lang. At inad natin ito at masasabi natin na ang group positive ay 76% ng mga participants, pero meron pa ring 24% na medyo negative yung kanilang nararamdaman for the last 2 weeks. So ngayon, gusto nating alamin ano nga ba yung areas of the life of the mga kabataan, yung nagiging source of or main source of stress nila. Number 1 is yung kanilang mga kaibigan, sumunod ang family, at pangatlo ang romantic relationship. So yun. At ngayon, tinuklasan din natin we try to find out ano nga ba ang top 3 stressor for both genders. So sa mga lalaki, ang number 1 ay ang friends, number 2 ay family, sumunod ang other students at school. So the other students at school could imply about bullying, peer pressure, and etc. Ganun naman sa babae, number 1 din ang friends. Pangalawa, ang romantic relationship, which was not found out dito sa mga lalaki. At ganun din ang other students at school. Ngayon naman, hinanap natin sa mga bawat age group dahil iba-iba naman ang source of stress ng bawat edad sa ating generation. Sa 15 to 18 years old, yung mga high school students, friends, romantic relationship, and other students at school ang kanilang main source of stress. Sa mga 19 to 21 years old, yung mga college student, family, friends, and other students at school din. And 22 to 25 years old, other students at school, family, and friends din. Pero naman, as they mature, makita natin na naging family na ang number 1 source of stress, and friends and romantic relationship ng mga 25 to 30 years old. Ngayon naman, apart dun sa mga nasagutan nila or given na choices ng mga participants, we want to find out din kung ano yung other source of stress base sa kanilang mga komento. At dito, lumabas itong mga to. Future, ibig sabihin, they worry about what will happen in the future, financial, social media, schoolworks, and appearance, bullying were also evident or nakita sa mga komento nila. At dito, nagsagawa din tayo ng thematic analysis para malaman kung ano nga ba yung other source of stress ng mga kabataan. Unang-una, family problem na sinuportahan ng salitang family, overthinking, heart problem, and needs. Sumunod ang impact of social media. So social media, every day we use it, and we get pressure. Gusto natin, ganito itsura natin. We want to be successful. We want to look amazing in social media. Pero doon, nagkakaroon tayo ng stress or cause of stress din. Another one is typical the uncertainty of tomorrow. Bilang kabataan, we worry about our future. We want to be successful. We want to be have a good grades, and that may be a cause of stress. Next one is the typical daily struggles. Could be about school, could be about work, finances, and etc. So yan ang mga base sa komento nila. And naman sa sumunod naman ay ang tanong na if you are experiencing a mental health issue, feeling anxious, depressed, having suicidal thoughts, how likely are you to? So ito ang summary. And sabi diyan, 62% are more likely to talk to a friend. In comparison, 15% lamang ang nagsabi na they are very likely to seek help from a mental health professional. So out of 40% yan, who are willing to consult a mental health professional or expert. Ibig sabihin, marami sa mga kabataan ang nag-rely sa kanilang kaibigan or family instead of seeking advice or seeking help from an actual mental health professional. So madami siguro itong mga dahilan tulad ng mahal ang pagsisik ng professional, at the same time meron stigma na kailangan natin solusyonan. So dito naman kinumpare natin yung gender, kung based on gender. So both 7 out of 10 ay likely to talk to a friend. Ganun din ang babae, ganun din ang lalaki. Dito naman, 6 out of 10 of every male participant is likely or very likely to talk to a family. In comparison sa babae, 5 lang kada 10 female participant are likely or very likely to tell her family. Dito naman, only 3 out of 10 ang nagsabi na they are likely or very likely to consult a mental health professional. So, sinuportahan niya yung sinabi kanina na marami ang mga kabataan na hindi or may takot or walang tendency to really consult a mental health expert. So, dito naman also both 6 out of 10 genders from both genders are likely or very likely to check online resources. Ibig sabihin, in comparison with consulting help from a medical professional, marami ang nagsesearch na lang online. Dito naman, if you know someone experiencing a mental health issue, how likely are you to? So meron kang kakilala, anong gagawin mo? Madami ang nagsasabi na they are more likely to tell a friend, family, and teacher, and even consult a mental health professional. And that being said, we can say that the participants are more likely to tell on someone if they see people experiencing mental health issues in comparison if they are actually experiencing it by themselves. Yeah. And dito naman, we want to find out ano ba yung mental health intervention that should be prioritized or should be implemented. And number 1 is the awareness campaign, followed by therapies and counseling. But that's not, hindi ibig sabihin na ito na hindi importante ang ibang mga programa. The more holistic it is, I think the more it can help the students or mga bataan natin when it comes to battling mental health issues. So yun. Again, the most voted is the awareness campaign. And ito ang ating key takeaways for this analysis. Mental health is important for any age and gender. And the most voted cause of stress of the participants are friends, family, and romantic relationships. And based sa thematic analysis natin, meron tayong nakuwang tema tulad ng family problems, future uncertainty, social media, work, school problems, ang tuklasan natin. And the participants are more likely to tell a friend/family compared to seeking an actual help from a mental health professional when experiencing mental health issues. And other stressors like social media, appearance, public speaking, academic schoolworks, ito yung mga other source or evidence siya sa mga comments ng mga kabataan. And finally, the most voted mental health intervention is the awareness campaign. So to actually battle something, we have to acknowledge that there is a problem in our mental health. So that should conclude the presentation of the analysis of the survey. And again, I am Myron Montefalcon, part of National University. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone, for
Myron. That was
listening.
a great presentation. Very important, I think, sinabi mo na only 15% are likely to seek help from mental health professionals. So that tells us na marami pa tayong kailangan gawin para maging mas accessible ang mental health help. Okay. So before we proceed to the breakout room, we have a question from Dr. Joselito Diaz. Dr. Lito? Doc Lito will unmute you, ha? There you go.
No, thank you very much, Ma'am. Thank you very much, Madam. Sandali,
Sure, no problem, Doc Lito. Your question po.
Can you hear my voice? It
Yes,
seems
yes, we can
later.
hear you
Okay,
po.
yeah. So I don't have much question actually because I find the presentation very comprehensive, and I really would like to thank Mr. Myron, no, for that very informative information that you have presented based on the result of the online survey. And it seems that you have presented also other sources of stress, no, which our young people have identified, and these are the familial problems, the impact of social media among teenagers, the typical daily struggles, and the uncertainty of tomorrow. And it seems that these are all captured in the three main stressors identified by the young people, namely friends, family, also other people, and also the how do you call this, the intimate relationship, social relationship. Very nice, because you have it seems that the problem of young people is a conglomeration, no, it's a conglomeration of many factors here. And I like the way you presented, because you came up with a thematic analysis, no, which captured all the concerns, no, and typologized all the concerns of young people. So I don't have much question right now, but more on observation, because it's quite alarming that, as you said, 15% of our respondents are most likely doesn't want to consult a mental health professional, no, which in the data you have presented, there's around 107 who answered likely, and very likely, which is 64, and not at all is 148, which means to say that many of our young people, when they have problems, they would rather search the answer on internet rather than seeing a therapist or a medical practitioner, no, or a psychiatrist for mental health consultation. And it's quite intriguing, because in your data, it also came out that when they are the ones having problem, they would when they see a friend who is having trouble, they would like to recommend them to see a psychiatrist. But if they are the ones having problem, they don't want to see. So I don't know, maybe there is a stigma that is attached to why people and young people don't want to to seek help, no, whenever they are the ones being faced by trouble. But when they see friends who are in deep trouble, they would likely to recommend them to see a counselor or a therapist. What can you say about that, Mr. Researcher?
It goes to show that people are willing to actually help or to listen to other people. So, but
I think we lost Myron. Well, maybe he has a response to your question later, Doc Lito. Now, okay. Sige. Let's give him some time. Oh, okay, he's back. Hi, Myron. We lost you for a second there.
sorry,
Could you
there was
start
a
from the beginning?
oh yeah. So the question is that why are they more likely to tell a friend, tell when pag may kilala sila na meron nag-undergo ng or na-experience ng mental health issues, mas madami, no? So, ibig sabihin nito, people are actually willing to help. They are willing to listen to other people. Pero when it comes to sila naman sa sarili nilang battle, and when they are battling it themselves, they choose to be silent on it. So, but on a positive note, we can say that people are willing to help because they want to tell someone about it.
So thank you. I think that's wonderful. No, I think one of the things that we have to address first is to really educate young people, no, and perhaps widen their perspectives, no, and understanding that seeking help, no, is not is something that they have to develop. No, the help-seeking behavior should be part of a strong campaign when we are to fight mental health problems of our young people. No, the help-seeking behavior must be strongly encouraged among the youth and also people who are really having trouble, no? Because there
Thank
seems
you.
to have stigma that they're afraid to subject themselves for, say, a psychiatrist or a guidance counselor, for that matter.
Thank you, Doc Lito. Thank you, Myron. Now let's go into the breakout rooms. Sa breakout rooms, naanahan niya namin kayo na bibigay ng inyong mga reaction at recommendation. So we've assigned everybody into breakout rooms. Please, wag po kayong mahiya na magbigay na inyong input. Sa breakout room, pag-uusapan natin ang inyong reaction or opinion sa mga resulta na present. Ano sa tingin niyo yung dapat gawin ng lokal na pamahalaan at paano nila dapat isakatuparan ng mga initiatives na ito. May naka-assign na moderator sa bawat breakout room at para mas maging makabuluhan ang breakout room discussion, lahat ng participants ay inaanyayahang mag-share ng kanilang insights. So, lima yung mga tanong na itatanong sa breakout rooms. Una, regarding the survey results, what do you feel or think about these? 2, what do you think the government should do? 3, how do you think the government should implement the initiatives? In number 4, in your schools or organizations, what mental health issues have you observed? And what programs have been implemented to address these challenges? It's now time to enter your breakout rooms. Kita-kita ulit tayo dito sa main room by 11:53 a.m. A colleague from the back end will be assigning you all into breakout rooms. If you have trouble entering your breakout room, please message us on the chat box now. All right, thank you everybody for your participation in the breakout rooms. While our moderators are collating their points for sharing, we'd like to do a quick Zoom poll. Okay, our first poll. So the first poll should be coming up on the screen now. If you had to scrap all social media except one, which would you keep? Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, or none? I don't know how many of you have a LinkedIn or have a need for a LinkedIn. But for me, I would probably keep TikTok or Instagram. Okay, just waiting for a couple more seconds for everybody to answer. I see Facebook is winning for most people. I think this is because also of free Facebook. It's very cost effective to keep Facebook since they keep giving you a free access. Okay, now showing the results. Okay, you should be seeing the results on your screen. So Facebook won by a lot, 80%. Some also said LinkedIn, some said Twitter, and one person said none. So that should tell Victorious what platforms they should use for to connect with it. Okay, next point, next question. Question 2 should be coming up on your screens now. Which of these would be hardest to live without? Chocolate, music, your phone, TV, or the internet? Parang complicated ng question. Kasi paano yun? Pag phone lang pero walang internet. I think I would pick internet always. Parang I can live with anything else. Pero sa internet, hindi ko kaya. Okay, I see a split of people. between people who are saying phone and internet. Oh, okay, I think phone and internet is still tied. Okay, let's end the poll and look at the results. Okay, so phone and internet are tied for first place, followed by chocolate music and TV with 1 vote each. Okay, thanks everybody for participating in that Zoom poll. Ngayon, pakinggan naman natin yung mga breakout room moderators na mag-share in 2 minutes kung ano yung mga napag-usapan nila sa breakout room. So maybe we could start with room 1.
Hi everyone. So for room 1, question number 1 regarding the survey results presented. So one response was it was enlightening and accurate, and because we also have someone from SK in our group, so she also shared that it resonated also based on actual interactions with the youth of Victoria City. There's also an answer na it's a bit surprising because there was the expectation na school works would be one of the top stressors, but during the survey it didn't really land in the top results. And of course, it was also highlighted, the hesitation or the stigma on consulting with mental health professionals, although it was also mentioned na it may not just be the stigma, but also the availability and accessibility of the mental health professionals. That may also be the concern kung bakit yun mas okay sa kanila not just to talk with friends. And then for question number 2, what do you think the government should do? Same with the results of the survey, there's a highlight or emphasis on the information campaign. And because we have representatives from the student government, they also highlighted na parang they can initiate or they should initiate like simple acts of kindness or simple gestures of kindness in their own student councils. Other items highlighted were accessible mental health treatment, especially school-based programs and activities. Also programs for parents and for the government naman to initiate or to pass on mental health policies and to strengthen its information dissemination. And for an LGU initiated mental health awareness campaign that will include infographics and should touch on different aspects of well-being such as social, spiritual, emotional, and also touch on stress, depression, and anxiety. And in terms of, for question number 3, how do you think the government should implement initiatives? We have discussed items such as first, information dissemination. Second is should consider also the availability of parents, because parents and family should be on board in the mental health campaign. Campaign and messaging should be consistent and should not just be like a one-time, big-time initiative. And campaign should be inclusive and diverse to cater to the different backgrounds and different profiles of the participants. And lastly, for the programs, for number 5, what programs have been implemented to address the challenges? For the LGU, particularly the Culture and Ethics Office, there is already a mental health program, but should still be worked on with the other departments or other units of the LGU. And for our SK Federation, there's already a Linggo ng Kabataan that includes a mental health awareness seminar attended by ALS students, and also regular or quarterly barangay-based awareness seminars. So that's it for breakout room number 1.
Thank you, Vida. Lots of good points. I think especially important was around the stigma concerning consulting with mental health professionals. So hindi lang siya yung stigma, but also yung availability and yung cost. Siguro sa tingin ko, hindi lang dapat sa youth yung programs natin on this, but also should be with the parents. Kasi minsan, even if you ask for help, your parents are the ones, of course, paying for it and supporting you in that journey. Now turning to the moderator from room 2.
Hello, good
Hi,
morning.
Dara.
I'm the moderator of Room 2 and ito yung mga sagot nila. It was really insightful. So for question number 1, ano yung nararamdaman nila towards the results? It was alarming knowing na yung family is gives stress, yung number 1 stressor, and it's where they go home. Meron namang they feel okay since yung family is comforter, and they also added na it feels alarming na most people would opt to go to a friend, lalo na when seeking for help and family kasi minsan it's not accurate unlike talaga sa professional help. Number 2 naman, what do you think the government should do? So, ito yung mga sagot nila. Government should create programs na hindi lamang short-term and do long-term plans like including awareness and about the mental health issues. And then they also added na malaking tulong talaga kung matutupad ito. Free consultations and therapies aside from awareness, they should start with parents, lalo na yung response ng parents. Diba? Like parang minsan na invalidate, like kung mag-open up, like minsan sasabihin nag-inarte ka lang, it's all in your mind. So prioritize programs that will allow them to be open. So that will allow the parents para na maging open sa mga kids nila. Yeah. And then question number 3, how do you think the government should implement the initiative? So first, it was mentioned na it's difficult, lalo na iba-iba yung cluster, lalo na may iba na may stigma pa rin, hindi pa open to mental health. So yun, as a response, cluster groups per barangay yung approach para mas madami yung matatouch and create more impact. Government should do it intentionally by hiring professionals, hire someone who could structure a good program, a data-driven approach, just like this digital democracy, so we can identify the main causes of stress. And for schools, magpadala, mostly sa students magpadala ng magsa-seminar ng junior at senior high. So they really highlighted yung parents, parang initiatives for the parents. So orientation every month, meeting sa lahat ng schools. So ayan. Question number 4, in your schools, what mental health issues were observed? Hindi nagkakaintindihan, wala pagkakaisa. Ito na-highlight to sa schools naman ng students. Binubully or hurtful words, so wala silang ganang pumasok. Friends yung nagbibigay stress dahil sa naranasan nila and feel nila they don't belong to a certain group of friends dahil sa experience ng bullying. And then work naman, deadlines like paperwork, stress, exams, deadlines, and heavy workload. And 5, anti-bullying programs, anti-bullying awareness support group with other peers, and then psychological aid sa schools division, face-to-face consultation when feeling down from medical officers. So yun yung mga sagot nila. Ayan.
Thank you, room 2. Interesting points, also reflecting the notes from room 1 about parents sometimes invalidating experiences, and there is a need for programs for parents to learn how to be more open with the mental health concerns of their kids. Turning now to the moderator from room 3.
Hello, good morning. So I'm the moderator for Room 3. I am Jid. So these are the highlights ng aming discussion during the breakout room session. So ang sabi ng mga participants natin ay the result is very alarming. Tapos ang sabi naman nila is they are very hesitant to go to mental health professionals. So sabi nila, mas prepare nila yung sa friends. But the problem with consulting with friends or talking to your friends, baka daw mislead ng friends na yon because of lack of knowledge in terms of how he or she will diagnose or help the friends, especially those who are experiencing depressions or anxiety. Then create programs not only for children but as well as for the parents, and presence of guidance counselor in school. Student experience lack of space to share, sabi nila, where they can go through and share what they have experienced and their problems. So mga ganun. So ito yung sa question number 1. For number 3 naman is presence of guidance counselor. Conducting mental health seminar for parents, especially sa middle age or mga young adults na parents, because ang sabi nila, ito yung pwede pang ma-enhance yung knowledge or awareness in terms of mental health. kasi para daw mas makatulong sa mga bata who experience depressions. So another thing is many graduate of psycho but only few practice. So maybe the government should have a program where the people can invite, especially those who graduated psychology, and ask them to help or get support, help the community, especially the youth, and practice in giving more awareness, not necessarily the expert advice or educations, but at least the awareness. Then conduct psychological support from the government, because and make mental health facility more accessible, facilities where people can go, especially those who have enough income. Kasi sabi nila, when they go to seek professional help, it would be too expensive. But with the government support, especially the professional expert, that would also give them mental health accessible in Victoria City. So yeah, and mental health. And number 3 is the government should acknowledge the mental health problem, not just physical health, but also the mental health. Make action, scheduled mental health counseling, because ngayon daw, ang sabi nila, there is a mental health schedule in school, pero only chosen student. But I think ang gusto nila is to have a schedule where people can get also mental health counseling, so strengthen the awareness. And another highlight is budget allocation. So maybe the government should put emphasis, especially the budget and allocations for mental health programs and initiative. And another here is imply mental health in education in school, so that the student would continue learning about mental health, and adopt mental health policy. Mental health disorder is heavy burden that really contribute poverty and other economic problems or concerns. So that's it from room 3. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we're starting to see a theme here. The need to make mental health facilities more accessible, creating programs for parents. I also like there was recognition that even though you can help your friends, you're not a mental health professional and you may not always know how. Thank you everybody for sharing your insights on the topic. We'll now be inviting Mayor Javi Benitez to share his reaction or response sa results ng survey. Pagkatapos ng response niya, we'll have the question and answer session. Inaanyayahan po namin kayo na mag-type ng inyong tanong sa ating Zoom chat box. Before we proceed to the Mayor's response, we'd also like to greet Mayor Javi a belated happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mayor! Now turning to you for your reaction or response.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Pleasant day to everyone. Thank you for the belated happy birthday. You know, my birthday has been super extended already. It was on Saturday, but people are greeting me Sunday and yesterday and today, so I really feel the love. But also, a belated World Mental Health Day. That was just yesterday. And so it's very timely that we have our closing assembly today. Not only because of the World Mental Health Day, but also because of the great work that you've been doing. Especially, I'd like to congratulate the Makati Business Club and the Asia Foundation for making this digital online survey possible for the youth of Victoria. So, great job. And also, congratulations kag Madam Magid nga salamat nga dakong abulig sa aton ang superintendent naton si Dr. Portia Mallorca, together with Mark Tan and ang yung mga teacher staff for allowing all our junior and senior students nga mag-participate sa aton na online survey which we conducted with you guys. And I would also like to congratulate the involvement and participation for the youth organization headed by our Youth Development Officer, Mr. Ricky Lapidante. And of course, the Culture and Ethics Office headed by Dr. Lito Diaz and Mr. Sherlu Labrador. Great job for helping the MBC and in translation of the survey questionnaire in Hiligaynon. And before I proceed, actually, I'd like to also commend the NU team because listening to their presentation and and hearing what they have to say with the analysis, data science analysis of the survey. This is it's a great way of presenting the data. And actually, when we were looking at it, I was saying in my head, this is how I want every presentation to be in the city of Victoria. So I think every department should have an evidence-based approach, a data science approach, because data, yes, is very important, but more important to that is how you communicate the data. Because data, yes, it's important, but we should explore data in terms of like survey and public opinion. But it should also help explain, and we need people to help explain the data and eventually really inspire action. So communicating the future state is very important. And I'd like to also quote one of the data people that I follow, Miss Nancy Duarte. I quote, "Oh, the stories data will tell if there was a teller to tell them well." So that's Nancy Duarte. And so there were 4 major themes that came out in the survey with the youth, which we identified. And I'd like to just reiterate, it's familial problems, common problems with teenagers and their family relationships, families struggling to cope with other family members, the daily struggles, the daily frustrations, the daily grind, the daily friction of life, which includes, school work, financial problems, negative impacts of social media among teenagers, which I saw in the survey earlier that everyone that clicked Facebook, actually I clicked Facebook also, just because Facebook is so connected and intertwined with their daily life, personal and professional. And so it's not only a thing that, for example, maybe TikTok is more, but maybe Twitter, LinkedIn, that's for professional. Twitter is kind of a little bit more on its own siloed echo chamber, I'd say. But Facebook is very intertwined with our friends, family, groups. Everything is pretty much there. And have Facebook.org really having their step with a zero pay for access to Facebook. So that it's a little bit worrying, especially when we think about mental health, but it's the price that we pay for convenience and connection. So you have it's distracting, people don't have much sleep, there's bullying, rumors, fake news, and all these things that come with it, right? And lastly, the uncertainty of tomorrow. And as data would say, many of our young people aged 16 to 25 worry about the daily anxiety of the future, because it's very frightening. And especially when we see the news, when, it's kind of a very tough time, with inflation, rising prices, threat of war, threat of climate change. I mean, all the more that we need this kind of session in terms of digital democracy to really push for awareness. So awareness, reduction of stigma for our youth, most especially, but for all ages. And when I looked at the survey and we saw that friends really play a big part. When we feel that there's a lot of things going on, when we look at social media, the news, etc., the first thing we turn to is our friends. And so there was a saying before, which is still very applicable today, in political sphere, when you say the personal is political, that really goes to when government officials and political experts and policy experts did not want to interfere with the personal, which meant that before, many years ago, they were saying that domestic abuse is personal. Government should not intervene because it's personal. But when policymakers and government officials were discussing, they were saying, in fact, the personal is political. We need to care about this. This is part of our government life. And so when we say the personal is political, we actually need to also think about how people interact with each other, how friends talk to each other, how family and their kids and other friends interact. And so first things come to mind that, we have to create an environment where social relationships can flourish in a very positive manner. And we recognize in government that we do have a huge responsibility and huge influence. And so therefore we will mobilize a lot of our departments, and especially working with the Department of Education and other non-government organizations to really produce, increase awareness, to reduce the stigma, reduce discrimination, and to have mental health, as I said in the opening ceremony, not be under the rug. This is something that is a major social issue today, and it's not something that we should just have a one-time thing or push it to the side. No? So raising mental health awareness, Victorians, is very key, especially a social media platform approach for preventive measures. And I think the Office of the Culture and Ethics of Victoria City is doing a great job with this. In fact, when I was interviewed by the media, they were saying, you know what, I think you're the first LGU to have this kind of position or kind of office, culture and ethics. I said, well, I don't exactly know what everyone else is doing, but I think this is a very relevant to the time, because many people, many other governments and local government units, this is not like kind of top of mind. And so when people ask me, oh, what culture and ethics, that sounds great. Maybe we can apply it also to our own cities. So maybe this could be something of a start for many other maybe neighboring cities from in other provinces. And so organizational culture and ethics will first start inside of the city hall. And I was talking to Doc Lito and Mr. Labrador about this, but they're still doing a lot of the workshops with the department heads, and it'll take some time. But don't worry, they're going to go out and also help many other Victorianos. So, and I'd like to also say that we are also going to meet about a bi-monthly infographic that will be uploaded on our social media platforms, focusing on the 8 aspects of well-being. That's social, intellectual, occupational, spiritual, physical, emotional, financial, environmental. So all of those aspects play into our state of mind, so which is the state of our mental health. So of course, with the goal of reducing stress, depression, resiliency, and increasing resiliency for our mental health. And when I started in the city in Victoria's, the first thing I said, the first day, I wanted everyone to serve with a smile. So we had the You Home campaign, because when I was during election, I've been hearing a lot of reports na, sorry to say this, damo da mga suplado, suplada, mga, when they interact with government employees, daw pa taas ang ilang, they think really highly of themselves. And I really wanted to break that on the first day. And so, we went for a You Home campaign. So we've been hearing a lot of good news, good feedback. And it seems like kind of simple, right? It seems that, just smile. How hard is it? But we don't really know what everyone is going through. But then it could really help if, sometimes like you just fake a smile and you feel so much better. And I think that is already a step towards good hospitality and positive work attitude. And so I think it all starts from there. And so after we'd also really invested in, of course, setting up the office. We've also improved a lot of the public parks, because I think, and repainting them. And many were saying that initially when we were talking about it, repainting, like pagwapo lang na, pa aesthetics lang na. But you know what? Many people were saying that it actually really helped their state, their mental health. Of course, they didn't really say it in the mental health phrase, but it really helped their well-being because, when they go to a park and they feel good and it's great, it's newly painted, it's clean. Those things really help, and it seems that it's small, but actually could have a big impact, especially someone who's having anxiety and stress and the like. So with that, at the end, we all have a role to play, and we, the government, are made up of people. So we all have our own responsibilities, and we all have a role to play. And government is really just people bounded by the laws of the land. And so our greatest asset, especially in the Philippines, is still our people. And that is why we have to take care of them. We have to take care of each other in good times and bad. And again, I'd like to congratulate everyone for a job well done. And this is a continuous progress. This is may have started a little bit before, all the more pushed now, but it'll still continue. And as the world moves towards a more connected world, with threats of all those I mentioned earlier, there's an exponential need for mental health awareness, care, and intervention. So good morning again to everyone, and God bless Victorious.
Thank you so much, Mayor Javi. Lots of good points brought up here. Especially, I like the point about improving public spaces as also a broader initiative to improve mental health. We've also seen that in the cities that we work with, in Pasig, in Makati, when we improve accessibility, walkability, it improves a lot of issues later down the line. So now we are in the Q&A portion of the event. We're now ready for your questions. So ito na yung pagkakataon nyo na may tanong kay Mayor kung ano yung naiisip nyo about this. If you have comments or questions, please do type it in our Zoom chat box. Before we get to that, I wanted to ask the Mayor, what do you think the most important intervention is now that the government should prioritize for the youth? So you've talked a little bit about what you've done in the past, but based on the survey results, is that going to change any of your plans for the future, or is it putting things on a priority?
So right now we're finishing a lot of our repainting, but I think more than public parks, it's actually really looking into how we can give more access for mental health, which I know that the main office is kind of busy, but then we'll really try to expand that. When I look into the Victoria's National High School, it's the second biggest school in the province, and we have about 13,000 students. And you know what? There's only one guidance counselor, and so it's a little bit alarming. Just because they're also very short of funds. They try to invest first in the teachers, but I think we should really think about how to add guidance counselors in the second biggest school in the province. So that's kind of one of the things that kind of is a top priority for us.
Thank you, Mayor Javi. That's a great point. Especially because a key thing that came up in the survey was really accessibility to mental health support from professionals. So now we're going to the photo op. Thank you, Mayor Javi, for answering our questions and sharing yung mga plano ng pamahalaan. Before we close today's program, could we ask for a quick photo op with Mayor Javi? Mayor Javi, just very quickly before we go into it, could we adjust you to?
No more questions?
To adjust your screen just a little bit to the.
Okay, sorry. So I'm using my iPad. My laptop is still in the shop, which is really annoying. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Praying for your laptop. But now we're doing the photo op. 1, 2, 3, smile. And 1, 2, 3, smile. I'll do one more since I see that some people are just now turning their photos on, their cameras on. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, thank you, Mayor Javi, to officially close this morning session. Thank you so much. To officially close this morning session, let's call on Culture and Ethics Officer of Victoria City, Dr. Lito Diaz. Dr. Lito.
Hello, as we come to conclude this online closing ceremony, please allow me to express my thanks to our young and dynamic Mayor Javi Benitez for gracing this occasion with his presence and for inspiring us to give the best of what we have for the people of Victorias. And also, I would like to thank the MBC and the Asia Foundation for helping the city of Victorias for holding and conducting online survey on the mental health of our young people here. Surely, you have given us a very clear perspective on how are we going to respond to the needs and concerns of our students, that will enhance, enrich their mental health, And also on behalf of the city mayor, I would like to express my thanks to Dr. Mallorca, our district superintendent, for the great support, especially her staff, her teachers, Mr. Mark June, for really doing a lot of coordination, and coordination and what is this grouping of the students who participated in the survey. And also, I would like to thank you also for the involvement and participation of youth organizations headed by Mr. Ricky Lapidante. And likewise, I would like to affirm the strong involvement and participation of the two people who work behind the scene, in the person of Miss Dindin. She works closely with the city mayor, Mayor Javi, and also my staff here, Mr. Chilo Labrador, for in the culture of ethics. These are people who are really dynamic people, and thank you so much for being there for our beloved city mayor and for making things happen. And thank you to all the young people of Victorias who participated in the opening and closing assembly. So I'd like to end this by quoting my favorite line from a certain author. And it says, there is no better exercise for the heart than bending and lifting other people up. So thank you, Madam. Salamat. Congratulations. Though we are done with our ceremony, but this is going to be the start of our local government to start working, responding to the mental health needs of our young people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Lito, for wrapping up our assembly today. Thank you so much, Mayor Benitez, for sharing the government's plans. And thank you to Myron, Montefalcon, and to the team of National University for analyzing the survey results. Siyempre, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat for your participation. Para mas mapabuti pa namin ang programa, pwede ba kaming makahingi ng feedback dun sa ating event? Please scan the QR code on the screen or click the link that my colleague will paste in our chat box. Inaanyanahan din po namin ang lahat to follow us on social media. Nasa screen ngayon ang aming mga social media handles. Dahil pinakamataas yung Facebook na result na nakita kanina, sana makita namin yung mga likes niya sa aming Facebook page. Sana din ay magkita-kita tayo ulit sa susunod naming programa para sa youth. Maraming salamat and stay safe.